Hello everyone! In today's video, I'm going to teach you some of the really common Nicaraguan phrases. You don't need to know any Spanish to understand this stuff. These are just the kind of 1-2 word interactions that people have really frequently, and there's certain words they use in those interactions. I'm just talking about the kind of things you need to know because you're going to hear them a lot when you're like walking around in the street or going somewhere or at a restaurant. Remember, I offer consulting, and if you're interested in that, check out the end of this video. I'll give you more information. So, I'll start with a greeting. It's mucho gusto. This means like, good to meet you. Mucho gusto. Okay? Mucho gusto. This is like what you say when you meet someone and you're not like close to them. You haven't really met them multiple times. Maybe you've just seen them once or twice. That's what you say. Once you know someone's name, you don't really say that anymore, okay? It's really like, good to meet you, okay? And another phrase you'll often hear a lot is, Buenos! This means a lot of different things, to be honest. It's like, hello, I'm at your door. It's an acknowledgement of presence. So when somebody wants to let you know that they're there, like somebody, if they're knocking on your door, or even a family member or a friend in your house, like knocking on your door and the door's shut, they may say buenas. It's like something you hear a lot when people are in the street and they're like asking for something. They'll start by saying that if you're not there to like get your attention. People just like yell it to acknowledge that they're there and they're trying to talk to you. It's like, hello, I'm here. Another phrase you hear a lot as a foreigner is a la orden. And you also hear this as a Nicaraguan, obviously. But it's just foreigners here are more likely to be like going to restaurants and paying for services and all this kind of stuff. And a la orden is like, I don't know what it literally means, but it's what everyone says after you basically pay for a service, and then I think it means like to the order. It's like a way of saying, of being professional, if that makes sense, and polite. Another one is a la gran puta. And this is like a phrase people say when something intense happens, or something's crazy, or they're surprised by something. And it's quite a vulgar phrase, but you definitely hear it a lot. So it's pretty funny as well, because if you ever want to make Nicaraguans laugh and you're a foreigner, all you have to do is just say that, and they'll be like, what the fuck? And people think it's really funny. Although sometimes, if you're around someone who's really conservative, they might be a bit offended, but you hear that phrase all the time here. In general, people tend to speak pretty vulgar in Nicaragua, as far as I can tell. No, I don't have anything against that. It's just noticeable, definitely. You hear some things. So some other ones that you'll see a lot are you'll see signs that are like hielo, choco banano. It just means like there is this. So it's like Hay, that's it. And you say like I probably pronounce it funny, but it's a really, really common way of all you do is like you go to a store, say you're looking for milk, which is leche. You'd be like hay leche, and they'd be like no hay leche, or hay leche. You don't need to remember the conjugation and crap, because you're not saying like do you have, you're just kind of saying does this thing exist, or is it here? Basically. So it's really simple. It's a really simple way to communicate with vendors, and it's how most like sellers communicate. They're really fast and use just like a word or two, and you really don't need to know a lot of Spanish to be able to like buy stuff and walk around and travel and that kind of thing. So you shouldn't be too intimidated by it. Like you'll learn Spanish really fast just by being here, especially if you're in like a more Nicaraguan place, not like a tourist place. Then it's all around you, and you're gonna learn it. And you don't need to like become fluent in that kind of thing before you come visit Nicaragua. It's really not something that should stop you from coming here, because coming to Nicaragua will improve your Spanish. Really, if you can afford to and you're interested, you should just visit. Don't let all the crap online and worries about not being able to speak the language and all this, don't let it stop you. Because it shouldn't, really. I mean, when I first came here, I was terrified. I barely knew any Spanish at all. Like, I really didn't know much. Now I can, like, converse in these things. But before, it wasn't like that. And it was worth it. Like, it was so worth it. I'm so glad that I came here. I went through a lot. I've had a lot of crazy experiences. But I'm so much better off. Like, here in Nicaragua, I'm, like, 29. But I'm able to just work an hour or two a day, and I have financial problems, but I can provide for someone I love, and we have an amazing situation, and I get to spend all my time just focused on like gardening and playing the games I want to play and reading and watching YouTube videos and learning, and it's so beautiful. And I just couldn't do that in the US. Like, I'd have to give up so much of my time and providing for someone off of just an hour or two of work. No way. That's just never gonna happen. And the quality of life there, for me, it was just shit. Like, I was sick because I'd work all the time and then take drugs when I'd get sick so that I could still do my job, and like, it's just normal to do that kind of stuff, and it was miserable. So don't let all of this stop you. That's my little tangent, okay? Now, let's see, what other Spanish phrases? Yeah, there's, hay un montón. And this is like an exaggerated phrase normally, because it literally means there is a mountain. And usually you'd say like, say you're looking for, I don't know, you're looking for like a certain kind of chocolate or mushrooms or some kind of beef or meat or something you want to cook. Then when you ask where it is, people will be like, hay un montón, means like there is a lot of it where they say next. So you'll hear that phrase. And then another phrase that's really common is no hay problema. This is like, don't worry about it. There's no problem. You'll hear that a lot, usually as a foreigner, just because us foreigners tend to talk a lot and be really fast and stimulated and drink too much coffee and all this. And so Nicaraguans are usually like, chill, like, slow down, no hay problema. Like, they're like, you're talking too much, man. It's funny. What else? Another phrase like that I use a lot is no te preocupes. This is like, don't worry about it, no worries, no te preocupes. Let's see. Oh, got some chicken drama. If a single one of you posts a comment saying you want to learn about chickens, see, my cat's trying to get into the chicken pen. They actually are friends. They get along really well. It's kind of surprising. But if you want to learn about chickens and taking care of them in Nicaragua and that kind of thing, just comment below. I'll make chicken content. That sounds great. And if you combine these with just basic knowledge of the numbers, especially 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, and 100. If you know all of those, you don't need to know like exactly how to say 73 or like 87. As long as you know like what 70 is, what 80 is, what 90 is, and you also know these kind of phrases like "I this," "no I this," then you're gonna be fine. You're gonna be able to travel, and you'll learn the communication you need to. Because Nicaraguans in general, like, they're pretty talkative to foreigners. Like, they want to like ask questions and stuff. I'm not saying everyone's like that, but if you give people a chance, they'll talk to you, and you'll get experience and practice socializing, and you'll learn pretty fast. So, like, trust me. I mean, I don't even really try and learn Spanish, and that used to bother some of my local friends. But I mean, I live here, I go to the stores, I do all this stuff, and now, like, it's just, like, when I need to fix something, like I communicate with the handyman and the person who comes over, and like sometimes I like need to look at a translator or whatever, but you'll just learn it. Like you don't need to be so stressed about it. Like if you're interested in coming to Nicaragua or any Latin American country, the thing you have to do is visit and start getting a feel for it. Don't think you have to like perfect shit or know all this crap or have enough money to buy property. Like that's all just bullshit. Just come visit the country and see what it's like. That's it. Okay? It's pretty simple. All right, everybody. I offer consultations if you're interested. They are $20 per 30-minute session, and usually they're about Nicaragua. I speak about my experiences. People like to kind of have a comforting voice, to know kind of what it's like, what to expect here, ask specific questions. Us foreigners tend to have all of these ridiculous concerns, so it's really easy for a local or a person living in Nicaragua to just be like, what? Why do you care about that? Like, when that it's not a problem, you know? So if you're interested in that, you can go to calendly.com/JackDermotPitman, or you can look at the top link in the description below. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!